Hey everyone, I'm Marina from Pineapple Yarn, and I'm here to share with you what I have been working on this week. So today is St. Patrick's Day. As you can tell, I'm wearing green, of course, because my children are relentless with the green. If I don't have green on first thing when I am eating breakfast in the morning, they will get me. They will pinch me. And so every year, March 17th, I have to make sure that I am wearing green from beginning to the end of the day for sure. So this morning I pulled on some hand knit socks that I made several years ago, and I think they were called Shamrockin' from Kirby Werby. I shared them here with you on the channel. And so I pulled those on perfect. I had my green covered. And then every year, depending on the weather, I either put my Inside Story sweater by Heidi Kermeyer. I always have that. It's a dark green color. So that's if it's cold. If it's warm, I wear this dress. So I always have my greens covered on March 17th. But yeah, it's a really fun day. The kids are excited, but I have one finished object to share with you, and a new cast on and a new acquisition. So my first item I'd like to share with you is this beautiful shawl that I finished, and I'm going to share it with you this way because it's huge. It ended up being really, really big. So this is, I think it's called Playful, the pattern, and I will link everything below. This was a free pattern, and I knit this with an Aran base yarn that I dyed for my daughter. I actually knit a poncho out of this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn base. In case you're ever interested, I can get this, but it's kind of a luxury base, and so I don't carry it in the shop all the time. But it's an Aran weight merino and cashmere blend, so it is super squishy, it's super soft, it's gorgeous. And I just dyed it this like beautiful soft pink color, a little like a pale pink, and then I did a brown glaze or a brown wash over the top just to kind of tone it down and give it a nice warm feel. And so I had several skeins of this left, and I pulled these out because, as I said last week, my friend from Germany is visiting, and I wanted to gift this to her for her birthday. So I paired this with a strand of undyed Noe Mohair Silk, and it's a lace weight. So it just made it like super squishy and gorgeous. And I love this shawl. It is so squishy and warm. And what I did on the top, and I'll show you, this is such a simple pattern and you could do so many different things with it, but this side has all of the increases, and you start, I'm pretty sure this is the end that you started with, and then so you're increasing on this side, you're decreasing on this side, but you're increasing more on this side, and so it gets wider and wider and wider as you go along, and eventually ends up in this really cool, I'll show you how deep it is. It's not really deep, but I used a full 2 skeins of this, and it just turned out amazing. This is the most luxurious, soft, squishy shawl I've ever made. But what I was going to say is, for the increases, what I did every 6 rows or so, I was just counting the garter stitch. So I had like 3 garter stitch bumps in between each eyelet. But anyway, I just did a yarn over for an increase instead of the called for increase in the pattern. And so I just have these like really cute eyelets on the top. I don't know if you can see them, but it just adds a little interest to the pattern. And then to block this, I just, I soaked it in with a wool wash, my Tuft Woolens wool wash, which is just, oh, I just love her wool wash. Like every scent is so amazing. And so I just soaked this for a bit, and then I actually just hung it on a drying rack, and I weighed down these 2 points. I I weighed them down because I really wanted to get a lot of length out of this. And this part, which is the increase section, I was slipping the beginning of rows. So I did a few modifications to this pattern, but I was basically just slipping the first stitch. So it just ended up with this really nice edge, and it's not really stretchy. And so I really blocked it out quite a bit. The rest of it, even though it is garter stitch, and garter stitch is so expansive, stretchy, I didn't do anything to it. I just kind of, you know, smoothed it out a little bit and didn't do anything. And it just turned out so pretty. I love it. And I hope she likes it too. To be honest, I don't really know if she's going to love this pink. I think she will. But hopefully you can just see how squishy it is, and maybe even some of the halo. I think it's really, really pretty. So, I mean, she's going to appreciate it no matter what. And it's just so cold for so long. I mean, compared to here, I guess. So it's just so nice to throw something like this on and take a walk or get outside. And yeah, so I was really happy how this turned out. But you can see maybe that halo right there. So halo-y. It's so fluffy. So this is done, but I highly recommend the pattern. It's very, very simple, and it calls actually for two different colors. So it has these kind of micro stripes running through the shawl. But I thought you could do so many different things with it. You could do beautiful fades. You could, you know, pair some more textured yarns like the Mohair Silk. You could even make it like super bulky and maybe do like 3 strands of fingering weight together. I just thought it was so pretty. So anyway, that is what I finished this past week. And so it was really fun. And so on to more knitting and knitting projects. I did work on my baby sweater this past week. And I finally just said, you know what, enough. I was not enjoying it at all. And just the pattern is beautiful and well written. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. I just needed to set it aside, to be honest. And I don't know if it is the needles, because they are Chiaogus versus Addies, which I normally use. I don't know if that was just, I think it was a combination of just a different needle. I think it was a combination of there was no mindless knitting throughout the pattern. The arms will be, but it has the lace column through the front. And so you have to have the instructions with you at all times. And I even printed it out. I ended up printing it out just to see if that helped me. And I just really wasn't enjoying it. So I set it aside, hoping that I'll come back to it eventually. I don't do that with patterns. Usually I just plow through and I do it. But I think now that I've started on something I'm really excited about, I think maybe I could coax myself to spend 10 or 15 minutes a day on the baby sweater and just get it done. We'll see. But it's going to sit for a couple days at least. So I'll show you what I'm holding here. This is all of my Handspun for my sweater spin. And I caked up all of the skeins that I had spun, and all of these labels. It's just masking tape. And I wrote down what colors I spun together. So I'll just go back to the beginning. This is all fiber from Woolfiend, and it's 4 different colorways. Well, it's actually 5, but I had to substitute 1 color in. And all of these are combo plies. And so I spun singles of each fiber and then plied it with another fiber. And so most of these are Targhee, there's some BFL, some Corriedale, and they're very squishy. I'm getting about an Aran to bulky weight on these. And I did start a project. So I had played with a couple of different ideas how to knit this sweater. I'd thought about doing, I'd been looking for a pattern. I looked at the column sweater, which I still, hands down, is design-wise is my favorite. And the only problem I have with that is it's from the bottom up, and I really need a top-down sweater so I can try it on and to make sure that I'm not running out of yarn, because I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But then I realized I knit the Homebody sweater by Heidi Kirrmaier, and I think I knit it last year, but I don't keep track of my projects, so I don't even remember. But the sweater I wear all the time, and I just wore it yesterday, and I thought, why am I not knitting this pattern again? This is such a fabulous pattern. And so I did. I cast it on, and as you can tell, I literally just cast it on. I mean, it's like last night I cast it on, and I am knitting the smallest size. I think the last time I knit the second size, and it was because I had thinner yarn, and it fits great. I really like the construction of this sweater. It is a top-down raglan. It's great. It's very clearly written. Yeah, I really, I wear it quite a bit, and I love it. So, yeah, it's a little tiny bit. I'll see if you can see it up close. That is so gorgeous, though. It's so pretty. And that's just one color. That's just one skein I'm working with right now. I did attach another one to it. So I started off with this gorgeous yarn. Oh, it's so pretty. Isn't that so, so gorgeous? So that's the first one I cast on with. And then the second one, let's see, I jumped to this one. And this is just beautiful. So you can just see all the different colors in there. I think that right now this is my darkest because it just has this, like, as you can see on the outside, it's just this like dark blue strand. And so I'm not going to do a lot of color management, but when I do get a strand like that, I'm probably not going to do like a big chunky stripe with it. As I alternate colors, I will probably alternate every maybe 4 to 5 rows or 4 to 5 rounds. But if I have a color like that that's quite large, I probably won't put, a big chunk into it. But so far so good. This is I'm really so excited about this. I ended up getting about 4 stitches to the inch, and I am knitting this right now on a US 8, which is a 5mm, and I believe the pattern calls for a 9, I'm pretty sure. So I just went down a needle size like I do all the time, and I'm really happy with the fabric. So not a whole lot to share with you about that right now, but what I like about this pattern is that it starts like right here, and it basically goes around to here, and you just go back and forth, basically making short rows at the very beginning. And then you join after you do several rounds of increases, you join, and then the neckband, the ribbing is put on afterward, but you have this really nice short row section in the back. It fits really well. And what I'm thinking is, if I do run short, what I'm going to do is just, knit the body maybe down to my waist, put the stitches on hold, start the sleeves, knit those, and then, and maybe weigh the yarn as I go, something like that. Weighing yarn is, for me, the best way to manage, see how my yarn management is going. But I'm playing with the idea of taking from my handspun stash right here, taking a color or taking a skein that is a similar weight to all of this, and just doing all of the rib, rib cuffs, rib neck, doing all that with one color. So I don't even know. I don't even know what I would choose out of here, to be honest. I do have, actually, I actually spun this a long time ago, and this might be a good match because it has some of the, you know, the same bright colors and stuff. This was, oh, this was really beautiful. This was from Yarn Hero, and it's called Barbie Doll 2, which is funny. But, I mean, you can tell because it's super bright, super bright. And I think that I knit this or spun this, gosh, the same year that I purchased my wheel. So that was in 2018, maybe. I don't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that I spun this the first year that I had my wheel. But this was a beautiful, beautiful spin and beautiful colors. But yeah, I might use something like that to pick up the neck and do a rib. So that's definitely an option. But we will see. I have so much hand spun. I can't even put this back. So I really need to use my hand spun, and yes, so that would be great because I could use some of my hand spun. But anyway, that's my sweater, the homebody sweater, and I'm really enjoying that. That has been really fun. And I should say, why do I have this in a dishpan? For a couple of different reasons. First of all, I use these for yarn dyeing and washing yarn and transporting yarn, and these are just so fabulous. They never wear out, and they're really handy. So I have these sitting around. However, the reason I'm using this is because I needed to put all of these cakes in order, because I'm basically just going clockwise around how they're set up, so I use each color consistently. If I had that in a project bag or, you know, some kind of bag, I just don't think that I'd be able to keep track as well. I really like being able to see all of my cakes of yarn. So that's why they're in a dishpan. So not the most glamorous, but you know, it does the job. So the next thing I want to share with you, I'm going to reach down on the floor here and I'm going to pick up my spinning wheel. So this is another bin that I keep for different things, but I actually keep my spinning wheel in here. So as you can see, I have the wheel in there and I have a couple different bobbins and I have my Lazy Kate setup. But I'm going to reach in here and grab my spinning wheel because I have something new to show you that I purchased for it. So this is an electric eel wheel 6.0, and I love this wheel so much. This is the only thing I've been spinning with. I also have a Krumsky minstrel that I haven't spun on in quite a while, and this is just super convenient, and I can pick it up, spin with it. It's just, I love it so much, and I really like these bobbins too. Everything just works really, really well. But I recently found out about the auto winder, and I will put all the details below. So what this does is it automatically winds your bobbins while you're spinning, so you don't have to stop and either move the strand of yarn onto different hooks or, you know, slide your hook up or down. It automatically fills your bobbin really, really smoothly. And if I remember, I'll insert a picture here, but it works so well. I couldn't even believe it. It was a splurge, especially for this wheel, because this wheel is not that expensive. But comparatively, this is an expensive piece of equipment. I knew that I would use it a lot though, and so far it has sped up my spinning so much. I can't even believe it. It has really sped up my spinning. So what's different about this is that it has this base you have to screw your electric eel wheel down on, and then you just use this flyer exactly like you would use any flyer. The only difference is that, I'm trying to think, I think it's the only difference is that it has this on-off switch right here. I don't know if you could see that. I'll give you a close-up. So the switch is here, and then you just have your flyer like you normally would have. And this has a battery in it, and so I'm going to turn this on just so you can see what happens. And you might be able to hear it on the mic. So can you see it's going slowly? It's moving slowly to my left. It'll look maybe right on the screen. But it moves very, very slowly back and forth on that arm. And so when it reaches the end, it's moving back. And so this, you know, normally your flyer is going around, and this is just slowly filling up the bobbin, and it works so well. It's really, really good. So I'm very excited to have purchased it. I have been waiting quite a while. They're made in the US. They are, I want to say they're custom made to order. I'm not sure, but I think they are. And so, yeah, it's just a really neat fiber tool. If you're, you know, if you're into these kinds of things, you might want to look it up. Also, I should say that they make them for all different kinds of wheels. And so you can use your bobbin that you have for your wheel and then just use this flyer. So it's kind of nice. I can't remember. There's another gadget on the market that essentially does the same thing, but I can't remember what it's called now. But you can't use the same bobbin. You have to use their bobbins. And so the nice thing about this is that I can use these same plastic bobbins, and I love these bobbins. So it's super handy. It's just great. I've been really happy with this. It's really well made. It came with great instructions. So I just want to pass that on. The website is myautowinder.com. Again, I'll put all the details below, but I think it's worth looking into if you're really into spinning and you want to make an investment into your tools. And yeah, maybe even, you know, you want to increase the speed of your spinning, or you don't, like, I don't have a ton of time to spin. And so this really has increased my spinning time quite a bit. So that is really all I have to share with you this week. I wanted to let you know that I will be having a shop update, which is next Friday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at pineappleyarn.com. I will be having several tonals, several colorways in lots of bases. And then I will be having a mini skein set for my 6th anniversary, which is in this month, the month of March. So I always, I like to dye a little something new, something different, something fun for my anniversary, because it's just fun. So last year for my 5th anniversary, I re-dyed the first colorway I ever sold, which is Ala Moana, and I will be having that as well. So that's really fun. So definitely check that out in case you're interested. And then looking toward April, which is kind of crazy. We're already talking about April, but I do want to let you know that my 2022 advent calendars will go live on April 1st. So I know it is ridiculously early. It's almost embarrassing that I put them up so early, to be honest, but they take a long time to curate, to dial the yarn. I have lots of extras in them, so to put those together, and I hope that I will be able to get you a video up of an unboxing of last year's advent calendar. So hopefully I'll have that up before April 1st and you can check it out, see if you are interested in this kind of advent calendar. They're really beautiful, and this year I'll also be doing a fade like I did the previous several years. So that's really fun, and it kind of gives you a different options, you know, to make different things. And I will be offering a fingering weight yarn as well as a DK weight. So that gives you more options as well. So those aren't live yet, but they will be live April 1st in case you're interested. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. But that is all I have to share with you this week. Thank you so much for watching. And if you liked the episode, I'd love if you give it a thumbs up. I hope you're enjoying your crafting wherever you are and have lots and lots of crafting time to enjoy it. I will see you next week with another episode and a shop update preview. So until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.